It's 3 a.m.
Get up. We're going to Iceland.
A small island outpost in the middle of the Atlantic. Cold, rugged, and beautiful. But first, airports. We hadn't even left the ground yet when, like something out of an aviation-fueled nightmare, the oxygen mask compartment fell from the ceiling. A few minutes later, some guys showed up with a roll of tape and an X-Acto blade. Yep, tape. Problem solved. And off we went. 2 connections, too many hours in airports, and too many overpriced meals you regret ordering. And finally, Iceland. "9 a.m., Keflavik International Airport. This is where our journey begins. Our first stop, the city of Reykjavik, to collect our vehicle. A sturdy 4-wheel drive camper van, our companion for the road ahead. Inside of the rental office, we find remnants of past journeys, half-empty bottles of oil, salt, and toilet paper. And after a quick stop for provisions at a local grocery store, we head north, towards the West Fjords, leaving Reykjavik and civilization behind us. After a couple of hours, we arrived at our first campground. Then, as the sun refused to set, we slept. After weeks of planning, 2 full days of travel, and a few delirious hours of sleep, we were here, in Iceland. What lies before us is the perfect 11-day road trip itinerary. The only wild card is the weather.
Going to Hot Spring. Perfect.
We could have stayed here all day, but adventure calls, so we got back on the road.
Stop. Go, go, go. Fast.
We'd been sticking to our itinerary like it was the point of the trip. Drive the road, find the thing, check the box. We blew through the first 2 days in one. Like if we just kept moving, we'd finally arrive at whatever it was we thought we were looking for. We needed to remember how to be present, not 2 steps ahead, not planning the next thing.
Why do you want to be my friend? Coming. Mom, don't attack. Soaked. It's good to be in Iceland.
It's day 3. We woke up at 2 a.m. this morning, and we're officially driving through the West Fjords. And we're looking for a hot spring in the tide pools. It feels like we have Iceland all to ourselves. It's breakfast time, and it's so cold the gas canisters for our camp stove keep going out. So we warm them up in our jackets and carry on. We'd heard about this gravel road, barely clinging to the cliffside in a seemingly forgotten part of Iceland. So we went. Damn. The West Fjords are known for magic, folklore and tales of sorcerers who can change the weather with a whisper. And here, alone in this wild place, we were beginning to understand why.
Not a bad stop for lunch. Lunch was great. It was yesterday's leftover lunch. Now what?
Now we need to find a market. Whoa. It's more than everybody we've seen in Iceland all together.
Yeah.
It was hard to believe we were still in the West Fjords when we arrived at Dyandi Waterfall. It seemed like every cruise ship excursion on the island was here, so we turned the van around and moved on. We hadn't been driving long when the road narrowed and we entered a tunnel. And then we realized there are headlights coming towards us. This is a two-way, one-lane tunnel. There were turnouts, but it was dark. We couldn't see them. Luckily, a car on the other side could and pulled over. Adrenaline still pumping, we pulled over at a bonus to pick up some groceries.
For 7,000 krona, we got baggies, bananas, bacon chips, box of tea, corny granola bars, sushi rice, mustard, teriyaki sauce, hot dog buns, 2 apples, red curry noodles, a loaf of seed bread, hopefully hamburger, carrots, frozen Yodas, and hot dogs. Not bad. I think it's like $60 worth of groceries. Not bad.
Nice.
Yeah. And 2 pig bags. We're almost there.
Good. I'm fading fast. 4:20. It's time for bed.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess this is reception here, huh? So just anywhere up here, camping.
Yeah, you can.
Just pick a spot.
Yeah,
Okay,
you don't
perfect.
need any electricity.
Nope.
No. The opposite that is a greenhouse with a swimming pool and a hot tube inside and a hot tube outside, and it is open the whole night. It is the hole in the earth, known from an old time,
Cool.
and a story about a bishop blessing it in 1200, so it was, people believed it was really healthy. But it is the same water here, and here, of course,
Awesome.
yeah.
Oh, there's the hot tubs.
Oh, that's nice. Asleep?
Time to get up, Bill. You slept in. It's 2:30.
We'd noticed some unappetizing floaters in our water bottles, so we refreshed our tanks before we left.
It's doing a good job. We're only 12 minutes away.
Perfect. That's a good amount of time away from the first hot spring of the day.
Back on the road, leaving Hadalur behind us, we continued through the West Fjords.
What's the speed limit around here?
Oh yeah, that's nice. It's nice too.
Have to be bright pink.
Look at that view.
It was good to be here, away from yesterday's tour buses and soccer matches. It felt like we had Iceland to ourselves again. In Iceland, you don't need a destination, just a direction. You drive until something compels you to stop. You're here, in Iceland, but it's hard to be present when you know that in a little more than a week, you'll be back home and back at work. So you take a moment and do your best to just be here.
Well, that was a cool, unexpected stop.
Caught a starfish.
And
If you haven't realized by now, this is what we had hoped for in Iceland. Driving in Iceland isn't like driving anywhere else we've ever been. One moment, you're winding through fjords at sea level. The next, you're traversing a mountain pass with a single turf-roofed building rising from the landscape. Back down from the mountains, we find ourselves in Holmavik, a small fishing village of almost 400 people.
back on the road, headed to Akureyri.
Gas is expensive in Iceland, around $9 a gallon.
It says left brake lights out.
All right, press it. Yep. No brake lights. Here we go.
We left the West Fjords behind us and found ourselves back on the ring road for the first time since day one of our trip. So we stopped to try one of those Icelandic gas station hot dogs we'd heard so much about. It was okay. It's a hot dog. Akureyri, population 20,000, known as the capital of the North.
Got Christmas ornaments for our Christmas travel tree, postcard, and pastries.
And we had lamb soup.
Finally got to eat one of them sheep we've been looking at for the last few days.
You can taste the happy lives they live.
No natural predators makes for great soup.
It was like an $18 bowl of soup, though.
$22.
$22.
$22 for a bowl of soup.
$5:15 in the afternoon here in Iceland, and it's bedtime.
So 1,000 krona to do the dryer, how much does that cost?
Like $7.
$7 to dry your laundry. We'd heard rumors of a hot spring waterfall, so that's where we're headed.
We found the waterfall hot spring, but it was more of a warm spring. And it's 4 degrees outside, so we're gonna keep moving. "4:30 in the morning at the Godafoss parking lot, and there's nobody else here."
Oh no, here it comes.
Here it comes.
Back on Earth, we headed east, across the northern edge of Iceland.
Breakfast time. Lamb soup. Breakfast in the middle of nowhere.
We drove east, as far as the road would take us, over the mountains, into the mist, and to our destination, Borgarfjordur Estuary. There's not much out here. A small town, a market that's never open, a campground, and the thing that brought us all the way out here in the first place, puffins.
The puffin spot was super crowded, so we're back at camp, making lunch, gonna watch a movie, and go to the puffins tomorrow morning at like 2.
In Iceland, unlike America, you get 5 dogs in a bag and you get 5 buns in a bag. None of this 6, 8, 8, 12 nonsense.
Makes so much sense.
Well done.
Puffin Marina. There's the viewing area out there. Hopefully there's some puffins. Puffin viewing room. Out here, on the edge of the Arctic, among the sea-worn cliffs of eastern Iceland, there's a bird who's well adapted to this harsh environment. The Atlantic puffin. With its black and white tuxedo plumage and brightly colored bill, this side-eyed little bird has earned the nickname, the Clown of the Sea. On land, they waddle clumsily, but in the water, puffins are accomplished hunters. They can dive to depths of up to 60 meters below the surface to hunt fish and eels with precision. And in the air, beating their stubby little wings 400 times per minute, puffins can reach speeds of 90 kilometers an hour. They're slower on land. A lot slower. But they do have a unique talent. They dig. Using their webbed feet, puffins tunnel about a meter into the cliffside, where they lay their eggs and raise their chicks. Puffins are built to survive, and they do. They can live up to 3 decades and return each summer to the very same burrow. Ridiculous, but resilient. The Atlantic puffin.
So funny how they dig with their big feet.
It's cold.
It was so puffin cool.
We weren't sure that we were gonna get puffins.
I wasn't sure we were going to get puffins until I was like 20 feet away from all those puffins.
There's the little town we camped in last night. And there's the Puffin Rocks. Still the only ones in the parking lot. It's 2 o'clock now. Time for coffee. So we didn't get on Iceland time. It just makes too much sense to go to bed early, like 3 to 5 in the afternoon, and wake up around midnight to go out and do things when nobody else is around. And we get double golden hour, sunrise and sunset. It's pretty amazing. Now we're gonna go hike. Something had shifted. We weren't rushing anymore. We finally started feeling present.
All right, so we're here, and we're gonna hike out, and down to Straw Root. That's the destination. Follow the yellow trail markers.
As we hiked into the mountains, the temperature dropped, the clouds thickened, and it started to snow.
Wow.
There's the Straw Road. But it's snowing, and it's cold, and we've both been sick, so we're gonna head back. It also looks pretty fucking slippery.
Out here on the trail, in one of Iceland's most remote corners, surrounded by towering mountains, you start to feel small, in the best kind of way.
It's hailing.
In the morning, the highlands were cold. So cold, you feel a twinge of homesickness. It's mornings like these that make you want to ditch the van, rent a hotel room, and be comfortable again. But after a couple swigs of black coffee, you remember. You don't come to Iceland to be comfortable. So you lace up your boots, put on every layer of clothing you brought with you, and you go for a hike.
Day 7, 3:30 in the morning, starting the Loggerfell waterfall circle hike. Should be about 8 kilometers this morning.
The tripod just broke. The guide I read for the Waterfall Circle Trail said that the signs you follow are red. The blog that I read about this trail said that the actual color was green. And while we're here, the color has been yellow, and they used to be red. A little confusing.
A little bit wet and muddy. Well, that didn't do much.
See you, Loggerfell. Leaving Loggerfell behind, driving the miles of switchbacks down from the highlands, we're headed south.
Looks like your tripod fix worked.
I think the bond is stronger than it was before.
Super windy and super cold.
Yeah.
And raining.
The weather really took a turn for the worst. As we tucked in for the night, the van was shaking in the wind. It seemed like our luck had finally run out. Maybe we needed that. A little chaos. In Iceland, good weather is a gift. The rest is what you signed up for. Morning, day 8, 34-mile-an-hour winds with 60-mile-an-hour gusts, pouring rain. It's pretty crazy out there.
Honestly, just leaving the van this morning to go to the bathroom is going to be an Icelandic adventure. Oh my gosh. Whew. That's how you brush your teeth in Iceland.
The hail was coming in sideways, or was it gravel? Either way, we were finally experiencing the Iceland that up to this point, we'd only heard about.
Cold out there.
That hail to the face is brutal.
Looks like the sign blew down last night.
These fucking windows got trucks.
I have no idea what the thing was. We were gonna book a kayak tour, but
It's gnarly out there.
You wanna go kayaking?
No. Is that gravel?
We had plans. Kayaking in Glacier Lagoon, visit Diamond Beach, go on some big hikes. But Iceland doesn't care about your plans. It rains hail and gravel on them. So as your bucket list gets blown away in the storm, all you can do is just go with the flow. We're entering a big flat area called the Sands. Before we got here, we were stopped by an emergency vehicle. They warned us there might be gravel storms ahead, and that if we find ourselves in one, we should pull over.
It's like they're stopping people from going in, but they're willing to let us out. It doesn't look so bad right now, but I guess we'll just pull over and take it if it starts getting too windy.
So when we started this trip, this crack was all the way back here, and now it's spread all the way over here.
locals have a saying: if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. Unfortunately, this wasn't one of those times. The storm wasn't going anywhere anytime soon.
We were planning on camping at Thakgil tonight, but the wind is still gusting like 60 miles an hour and it's freezing. So we're back on the road. Now we're looking for a new campground. Vic was not the campground, it was packed. I think it's probably because the road was closed, so a lot of people that were planning on going further east today couldn't, so they probably decided to stay here. So we're gonna continue heading west and look for a less crowded campsite, a little bit off of the ring road.
The wind's blowing like it's got something to prove. It's brutal. You can barely stand up straight, but you came all this way, so you suit up, you walk behind the damn waterfall, and get completely drenched in the process.
Alright, let's go.
We just visited Sandfoss. Sandfoss. It's pretty fun. We no longer have Iceland to ourselves. It's about 3 in the afternoon and everybody's here. But it was totally worth it.
A few hours later, the wind still howling, we found a campground. It was nearly empty and the showers were hot, so we were happy.
Day 9. The wind is still howling. It's freezing cold. We're gonna go hike to a thermal river. We didn't make it. The wind was too crazy, it was too cold, and I don't think we could have taken a single piece of clothing off to get into the water without it blowing across the valley.
Even if the water was the perfect temperature, there's just no chance that it would be worth getting dressed in that wind.
No chance.
No chance.
So now we're moving on. We're gonna head to
The Golden Circle, an hour outside of Reykjavik. This 300-kilometer stretch of highway is on every Iceland travel brochure. We didn't plan on coming here, but while outrunning the storm, we ended up ahead of schedule. 2 days ahead of schedule, with no plans. So we're here, on the tourist track. We checked the weather forecast, and it looked like the West Fjords were clear and calm. So we decided to head back to the campsite we stayed at on the third night of the trip. But first, we needed coffee, so we stopped. Inside, they had something called crap. The guy behind the counter told us it's pronounced crap with more air in the A. He knew it was funny, and as tempting as it was, we stuck with coffee. All right, let's go.
We just got to our campsite here at Heidalur. Heading to the pool. Cool. That's cool. Outdoor hot tubs. Good dog. Good dog. All right, I'm cooked.
There's also a restaurant here, so we decided to treat ourselves. Sitting at the best table in the house, we ordered smoked puffin, locally caught, probably by pole net, an Icelandic gin that tasted like the countryside, a local beer, and a bowl of Icelandic lamb stew.
Okay, that's what's up.
We ate with an audience, the ranch dog drooling in the window, and a concerned puffin watching from the bookshelf. Oh, and there was chocolate cake.
We slept in last night. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning here in Iceland. All right, we're back for one last soak. Whoa. You better go. Let him go. He is not happy.
We must have passed by an Arctic tern's nest. One of them was dive bombing our heads the whole way here. They might still be out there. She's still there?
She's definitely still out here, and she's definitely looking for us, and she's definitely pissed. Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's two of them.
Yep. You ready to make a run for it?
Back at Snorristadir.
I think the D with the cross is a TH sound.
Snorristadir.
Yeah.
What do you know?
This is our camping spot for the night.
Camping spot for the night. It's our last morning in the camper van. There's currently no wind. We've had our coffee, and now we're out for a hike to Eldborg, which is a crater. see how the lava was flowing. Very cool. And we're almost to the crater.
It was almost the end of the road. We'd finally outrun the storm. 60-mile-an-hour winds, gravel rain, hail. We skipped Diamond Beach, the Thermal River, several hikes. We just kept driving until we ended up back here, where we started the trip, the West Fjords. And it felt right. As we drive south back to Reykjavik, we passed places we'd seen before. But somehow, they all felt different. Or maybe we'd been changed by our 11 days on the road, humbled by the wind and the cold. You don't always get the trip you planned, but if you're lucky, you get the one you need.
We just tried the fermented Greenland shark at Cafe Loki.
I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it was.
It really wasn't bad. I had 3 pieces.
It wasn't good by any means. It's not good.
Is the okay.
Drink a little bit of
Oh
it.
yeah, okay. The flavor kicks in. The flavor kicks in. Oh god.
It's delicious.
No, it's not.
I'd like another. The Brennivin was good.
This is good.
Whoa, this stuff is wild.
Yes, the booze that they give you to follow up was good.
The rye bread ice cream was also good.
Yeah.
We couldn't finish the wind-dried fish. The texture was just too gnarly.
It's gross. You know, I'm really glad that our server gave directions. Like, she was scaring me a little bit when she put down our Braveheart dish and she told us you need to chew the fish or the shark 15 times before you drink it. And I was like, oh God, what does that mean? It tasted like nothing, kind of like soft cheese and then kind of a little fishy. But then, bam, ammonia.